I'm Evelyn Kelly, and I'm doing Emma Watson's 2014 gender equality speech. Why has the word feminism become such an uncomfortable one? I am from Britain, and I think that it is right. I am paid the same as my male counterparts. I think that it is right I should be able to make decisions about my own body. I think it is a right that women should be able to be involved on my behalf in the policies and decisions that will affect my life. I think it is right that socially I am offered the same respect as men. But sadly, I can say that there is no one country in the world where all women can accept these rights. No country in the world can yet say that they have achieved gender equality. These rights I consider to be human rights, but I am the lucky ones. I am one of the lucky ones. Men, I would like to take this opportunity to extend your formal invitation. Gender equality is your issue too, because to date, I've seen my father's role as a parent being valued less by society, despite my need of his presence as a child, as much as my mother's. I've seen young men suffering from mental illness and unable to ask for help in fear it would make them less of a man. In fact, in the UK, suicide is the biggest killer of men between 20 to 49, eclipsing road accidents and cancer and coronary heart disease. I've seen men made fragile and insecure by a distorted sense of what constitutes male success. Men don't have benefits of equality either. We don't often talk about men being imprisoned by gender stereotypes, but I can see that they are, and that when they are free, things will change for women as a natural consequence. If men don't have to be aggressive in order to be accepted, women don't have to feel compelled to be submissive. If men don't have to control, women don't have to be controlled. My reflection. Feminism is important to all of us in our evolving society. Gender inequalities don't affect women, don't just affect women, but men and others as well. It doesn't make sense that gender molds society has given us are seen as a trend and are frowned upon if not followed. Feminism and the push for equal rights for women is happening all over the world. I have seen men made fragile and insecure by a distorted sense of what constitutes male success, Watson states about unfair stereotypes against men. Some men think that if they are injured or mentally ill and need to seek help, they are seen as weak and feminine, which also implies women are weak. Wanting help or having a hard time doing something alone as a man doesn't take away any of your masculinity. People need to address these issues in the world and not let society make you accustomed to discrimination. This issue is important because it shows that women and men can work together and eliminate fallacies in the public. Men and women need to stand up for basic human rights and get the respect they deserve. Nobody can tell you what to do with your body. You do not have to be a certain gender to do what you like, such as men wearing makeup or women playing sports.
Hello, my name is Hafsa Isaac, and I'm doing my speech on Oprah. So as the bells of freedom ring today, we are hoping that it's time for all of us to reflect not only on the progress that has been made, and we've made a lot, but on what we have accomplished, and also on the work that still remains before us. It's an opportunity today to recall where we once were in this nation, and to think about the young man who at 34 years old stood up here and was able to force an entire country to wake up and to look at itself and eventually change. And as we the people continue to honor the dream of a man in a movement, a man who in his short life saw suffering and injustice and refused to look the other way, we can be inspired, and we too can be courageous by continuing to walk in the footsteps in the path that he forged. He is the one who reminded us that we will never walk alone. He is a drum major for justice. So as the bells toll today, let us reflect on the sacrifice of those who stood up for freedom, who stood up for us, whose shoulders we now stand on. As the bells toll today at 3 o'clock, let us ask ourselves, how will the dream live in me, in you, in all of us? As the bells toll, let us remind ourselves injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Hello, my name is Kirsten Peters. My person is Michaela DePrince, and her speech was her life story at TED Talks. But the reason why I'm here today, the reason why I'm telling you my story, is because I want to encourage young people to aspire to dream. I want people to understand that it is okay to be different. It is okay to stand out. I'm different, and I want you to understand, to believe in yourself, to believe that you have talent, even if you don't think you do. No matter what circumstances you are under, no matter how poor or how sad you are, at any given moment, believe. Dare to push boundaries. Dare to be different. Dare to stand out. All of you. This speech was inspiring because it can make you feel grateful. It can give you the appreciation and the thought of self-worth because of how bad she had it. I can't put my emotions into words well at most of the time, but this speech makes me feel more than exuberant about my childhood. After hearing this speech, I think about how many times I would complain or whine because I wasn't spoiled enough. I would think about how my family would go through a financial struggle at times and think it was the end of the world. I see that not all people have to give up on something just because they find their surroundings too bad, because they don't have enough money, because they don't have enough joy. I'm inspired because someone who no one loved, was bullied and traumatized, can keep the same dream and dedication to wanting joy every day for years upon years. She kept a single paper in her underwear because she had nowhere else to put it. She suffered for years to be happy. I was inspired because I learned that not all those who were famous had a fairy tale life. They worked hard, stayed dedicated, and wouldn't stop at any cost to reach their happiness. I'm inspired by Michaela DePrince. I'm inspired because she was labeled as a devil's child and seen as a curse everywhere she went because of a disease she couldn't help, but became what she wanted no matter what others said, because she wanted to become happy and nothing else.
My name is Caroline Bergen, and I did a report on Jane Goodall. My significant passage was, every one of us can make a difference every day. In fact, every one of us does make a difference every day, and we get to choose what sort of difference we want to make, how we interact with people, with animals, with the environment. My response is, Jane Goodall is an inspiration for animal lovers and individuals who want to make a difference. Being an animal lover myself, this speech pushes me to explore new ways to help animals. After college, I plan on moving to a small town and finding a way to aid in stray animal rescue. Though Jane Goodall has made a larger difference in the world, I believe I could make a great difference in a smaller community. Jane Goodall is widely known around the world, mostly for scientific research on the social learning of chimpanzees. She is also known for her efforts in animal conservation to help the survival of multiple species. Without her, many animals would be on the brink of extinction. This is one of her many successful speeches known to inspire young scientists and animal lovers to get out and help different species. Jane's aim is to create a domino effect of inspiration so the world can be a better place.
Hello, my name is Chanel Tai, and I'm doing a speech on Michelle Obama, and this is my significant passage. I mean, just think about the work together it means for a child born today. Maybe that child will be one of the 1.6 million kids attending healthier daycare centers, where fruits and vegetables have replaced cookies and juice. And when the child starts school, maybe she'll be one of the over 30 million kids eating healthier school lunches that we fought for. Maybe she'll be, yes. Maybe she'll be one of the 2 million kids with the Let's Move salad bar in school, or one of the 9 million kids in Let's Move active schools who are getting 60 minutes of physical activity a day, or one of the 5 million kids soon attending healthier after-school programs. My response to the speech. Michelle's speech has given me the inspiration to unite with others and give back to communities that aren't as fortunate as we are. Secondly, to know that dreams do come true and your actions can give a good or bad influence to others around you. On the other hand, I have learned that people have put in effort into giving us healthier choices to eat at school and has made an overall change in our society. The stuff that her team was doing used to be considered cutting edge before, and now it's a part of our everyday lifestyle.
My name is Chad Johnson, and the person that I chose was Steve Jobs. Here's a passage that I chose out of his speech. I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes typography great. It was beautiful, artistically subtle in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating. None of this had even hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me, and we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts. And since Windows just copied the Mac, it's likely that no personal computer would have them. If I had never dropped out, I would never dropped in on this calligraphy class, and personal computers might have not have wonderful typography that they do now. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking for it when I was in college. So this is what I got from the speech. I grasp a lot from Steve Jobs' speech. The reason I chose his speech is because I feel like I literally connect to him. Steve Jobs was a millionaire because he followed his heart and not what he was required to do. He changed the technology world around, and it was incredible. Listening to Steve Jobs, I feel like I can do anything just as he did. There are no limits. Therefore, I have to make sure I can follow my heart and not do what everybody else wants me to. Jobs took a bold risk to go with his first mind and dropped out of his classes, but look where he ended up. One can gather from his speech. He is very intelligent, a risk taker, and not afraid of the unknown. I strongly believe that the world could learn a lot from him and his speech. It shows life can give you chances, but you just have to take the risk.